I'm Shanna.
And I'm Gabby.
And we are
27 Travels.
So for anyone who's new to this channel, we are a lesbian couple who travels the world together. That's why we're called 27 Travels.
Yeah, so the 27 actually comes from our anniversary, which is on the 27th. So yeah, that's why we call ourselves 27 Travels.
And we just really showcase our lives as a same-sex couple traveling, like how it's different than if you weren't a same-sex couple, what we get up to, all the fun things we do on our trips, travel tips, things like that. So if you're new here and don't know anything about us, I'm Shanna, I'm 28. I'm originally from Long Island, New York, but now Gabby and I live together in Brooklyn. And if I'm not traveling with Gabby, I work as a freelance videographer and video editor. And you see it.
That's our cat. He loves to be in the spotlight, look. So I'm Gabby, I'm from Brooklyn and I'm 26. So I do a lot of different things. I'm a photographer, I do nails professionally, I am an artist, I just draw and paint and all of that good stuff.
But the main point of this video is that we asked a bunch of you guys on Instagram to ask us questions for a Q&A because we've never done a Q&A on YouTube before. We've done a few on our Instagram before.
Yeah, but we thought why not get to know us a little bit better by answering some of the questions that you guys have for us. So yeah, we're gonna answer those.
So I think this is a good one to start. Someone said, I would love to hear the story of how you met. So Gabby and I actually met at New York City Pride in 2015 at one of the most popular lesbian bars in Manhattan called Cubbyhole.
If you don't know what Cubbyhole is, it's actually this teeny tiny little bar that's been there forever. You're sardined in, especially on Pride. There's a million people in there and you're this next to everybody.
But Gabby approached me and started talking to me, and then she ended up having to leave because she was with one of her friends. So she left and asked me to follow her on Instagram. So we followed each other on Instagram, and then we talked on there for a few months, and then basically we went on our first date maybe 6 months after that.
We just wound up talking in DMs, and immediately it was let's go out.
I slid into her DMs. Okay, so next question. For how long are we together? So, we've been together since January 27th, which is 27 Travels again, of 2016. So we've been together now for 3.5 years.
So the next question is, do you ever worry about being openly gay while traveling?
I would say definitely. It's always a concern for us no matter where we go. I mean, even if we're going someplace that is super LGBTQ friendly, I think it's just always in the back of our mind. But one thing we do to kind of combat that is whenever we're going somewhere new, we research the laws and the public opinion of homosexuality and same-sex marriage in whatever country we're going to, so that we know what the laws are, what we should and shouldn't be doing, and how the public views gay people, because sometimes the public's opinion is different than the laws of the country and vice versa. People are oh, are you guys sisters or friends? We'll just kind of not tell them they're wrong or not say that they're right.
Off the question. Yeah, we're okay, unless it's someone we're really comfortable with, we don't always want to disclose that information right off the bat, but we do feel comfortable traveling as a lesbian couple, and we are open with most of the people that we meet that, we are a couple.
Yeah, and if we ever do feel unsafe, we just, maybe we won't hold hands, or we won't show any PDA or anything like that. But I would say for all the places that we've been to, we've had a really great experience as a couple. I would say the only issues we ever have had are because we're two women, not that we're lesbians or that we're gay or anything. It's just that we're two women, where sometimes women in some cultures can seem more vulnerable if there's not a man present.
Okay, so this is a great question. The question is, does your family make pressure on you to get full-time jobs in an office, or are they okay with your life? As you may know, Shanna and I now both work as freelancers, so we do not have full-time jobs. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of touch and go in terms of how many jobs we're doing or what our schedules are like.
Yeah, so I would say that my family seems okay with it. I don't think they really truly understand the lifestyle, but I think that they're as supportive of it as they can be. But we love working for ourselves. We wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, for sure. I think my family is slightly more understanding about it. At least my dad, just coming from the perspective of that I was freelance and then had a full-time job and hated it and complained about it all the time, and then was freelance again. I think that then they were okay, well, you're surviving, so you clearly are able to afford your rent and be able to still travel and do stuff. So I think from that perspective, they kind of get it.
So the next question that someone asked was, how do you budget for travel? I'm so bad at saving money, even though I'd really like to travel. So I would say this is probably one of the most popular questions we get asked all the time, is how we budget for travel. And if you just heard our previous answer, is that since we work as freelancers, we are not balling with money. We don't always have money laying around. But I would say there's a few things that go into this. Number one is that we make travel a priority. So instead of spending our money maybe going out to drinks with friends or buying I don't know,
New
some
clothes.
new clothes or like things for our apartment. The second thing is that there are a lot of ways to travel cheap. Like for example, Gabby and I will stay in like maybe like a cheaper accommodation, like a hostel or like a cheaper hotel, because we, whenever we're traveling, spend most of our time like outside exploring. There's also like ways to find cheap flights. Like our number one tip is like being very flexible on when you can travel.
Yeah, so like we'll travel in the middle of the week a lot. Like we'll take like night flights. We'll do things that other people would consider to be inconvenient. We'll like do a bunch of transfers, but it makes our travel cheaper. Okay, the next question is, what made you decide to start traveling and documenting it? So what made us start traveling and documenting it is that like when we started dating, we both kind of like one of the first things we talked about like on our date was like, oh, we both love traveling.
Literally on our first date.
Literally. She had traveled a lot with her friends and I had traveled a lot with my family, so we immediately were like talking about all the places we want to go and all of this stuff. So when we were dating, we started traveling together and we started doing like small road trips, and we went to Arizona together and we had the best time. And it's while we were doing that that we just started for fun, kind of like documenting it, taking pictures there, because like she does video and I do photos, so it was already like a fun thing for us to share together, and it just kind of like escalated from that.
Another thing was that after we had our account for a little while, we kind of realized like how little information was out there for LGBTQ travelers at the time, because we started our Instagram, which is where 27 Travels first started in 2016. So back then there wasn't as many, you know, like Instagram accounts or YouTubers or anyone in social media doing what we're kind of doing now. So we just kind of wanted to put ourselves out there and be like a representation of, hey, you know, just because you're a same-sex couple doesn't mean that you can't travel, you can't do all the things that you want to do. Representation matters. So the next question is, what is your dream destination? I don't know. I feel like because there's so many places that we want to go to that I don't know if I have like one specific one that stands out.
I have one.
What?
I would love to go to Japan.
Oh yeah, you've been wanting to go to Japan forever. Maybe like a few months of just traveling around Europe as a whole, just like experiencing it all like in one big
Euro trip!
Yeah, Euro trip. That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay, this question is, what's your fave country and why?
So my favorite country that I've been to with Gabby is probably Curacao, because her family is from Curacao. Her dad was born there. She has her grandma lives there. She has lots of aunts and uncles there. So we go every year. And because we get more of like a local experience, I feel like I just have like a different feeling about Curacao, because I'm not really seeing it from like a tourist perspective. I'm really seeing it as if like I had lived there, which I think is really cool and really different. So Curacao for me, also the beaches are like literally amazing. Like we've traveled to so many places and still Curacao, we think, has the best beaches.
The bluest beaches. They're really blue, they're really beautiful. So my favorite country, which sounds kind of basic because Shanna just said it, is also Curacao. I mean, my family's from there and I love it. But if I had to pick a secondary place that is also my favorite, I really loved when we traveled to Italy together. I loved Italy. I would 100% go back, like today. If someone was like, here's a ticket, quit your job, quit everything you're doing and go, I would go. No question about it. And I would eat pizza and drink wine. That's it.
So the next question is, what are your upcoming travel plans besides Curacao? Because we are going to Curacao next month. Our upcoming travel plans are, as of right now, we might be going on a trip at the end of this week that we have not booked yet. We're very spontaneous when we travel. So like if we're like, we've been in New York for a while, let's go somewhere, we'll like look up cheap flights or like, you know, try and find a place that maybe we haven't been to. But yeah, so then we're going to Curacao at the end of August. And then after that, we don't have any like concrete travel plans.
This one says, love and adore y'all. Ever thinking of getting Rascal a sibling?
Rascal is our cat.
Rascal is our cat. He's very cute and he's huge. And he's 10.
Go get him.
I'm gonna go get him, yeah.
Here he is.
All right, here he is. Rascal,
Ras.
say hi to everybody. This is Rascal. He's 10. He's a sweetheart.
He's the best cat ever.
Little bit of a loner, little bit of a cuddler. He likes Shanna better, even though I raised him, which is rude.
Are we gonna get him a sibling one day? We would like to. We would really love to like train a cat to be like an adventure cat. That's like our dream, to like go traveling with the cat. Rascal's a little bit too old and he like is very scared because he's, you know, spent 10 years of his life not being, you know, in a harness or anything, or even outside at all. So one day we would love to get Rascal a sibling, but it has to be like the right timing and the right circumstances. So someone asked for our coming out stories. It's gonna get real.
It's gonna get really, we're just diving into that right there.
I didn't really realize that I was a lesbian until I was in college, and I think one of the reasons why is because there wasn't really any like feminine lesbian representation when I was growing up. A lot of the lesbians that I saw in the media, like a little bit more masculine, like to have short hair and wear more traditionally masculine clothes, and that wasn't me. And when I started getting older, I kind of realized, I was like, oh, like I don't ever really want a boyfriend. Like I never wanted a boyfriend. When like I would kiss a guy, I never felt anything. I never really thought anything of it. I was just like, I'm just doing my own thing, you know? But then I was actually on YouTube, and I found a few YouTubers who were feminine and gay, and you know, kind of giving tips on like how they came out and how they realized they were gay and all this kind of stuff. And then that's when it clicked for me that I was like, oh my god, like this is me. Like the thought had never really crossed my mind before, but I was always like, why am I just not interested in guys? And then when I kind of heard these like feminine women who were lesbians on YouTube talking about their experiences, I was like, oh my god, like this is me. And then when I kissed a girl for the first time, I literally got those feelings in the movies that, you know, when you like feel everything inside you, get butterflies, like all this stuff. And I was like, oh my god, like this is real. Like I thought it was fake because I would kiss a guy and like not feel that. My family is very like politically conservative, so it kind of took them like a little bit to like come around to it. Like it's still a process now, even though I've been out for like 7 years, but they are coming around to it, and they are, I guess, as supportive as they can be.
Okay, so for me, my coming out story is just a little bit different. I think I knew when I was a lot younger that I was gay, and I knew that I was attracted to women, but it's kind of something that I repressed more. You know, I didn't want people to know. I was very like not interested in guys, not interested in anyone. People would always be like, Gabby, who are you interested in? And I'd be like, nobody. By the time I went to college, I like had made some friends who were also gay, and I was slowly like coming out of my shell, and I started telling people as I met them, like, oh, you know, I mean, I like women. Like I don't know, I was just more open with them. And it took me a long time to tell people I knew from like high school and other times that I was gay. So that part was really hard for me, and it was really hard for me to come out to my family, but when I did, most people were really supportive. So this is the last question we received, and it is 5 similarities and 5 differences about you.
Ooh.
I feel like that's kind of hard, but easy. Should we write them down?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, let's write them down.
Let's pause for a second, and we'll write them on our phones and see if we have the same ones. All right, okay. We're back.
So we have discussed it thoroughly.
We discussed. The 5 reasons that we're similar are...
Well, one is that we are both into nerdy stuff. That's what I wrote in my notes.
Yeah, we were both going to Comic-Con like years before we even met each other, and we're just kind of like into the whole vibe of Comic-Con, like, you know, the like sci-fi TV shows, and Gabby loves anime, and like, you know, all things like that.
Another way that we're similar is that we both love to travel, which is obvious because 27 travels. Without that being a similarity, we probably wouldn't have 27 travels, right?
But I think one thing that's like even more important is that we like to travel the same way, which is that like we both like to kind of like get out there and explore, and like we'll walk like 15 miles and just like get lost in whatever place we're in. Where it's like a lot of other people that we know, or like some of our friends like to, you know, go and relax and sit on a beach all day and like stay in their hotel room and get like pampered, which is totally fine, but that's just like not really how we travel.
Which actually leads to the next one, which is that we are always up for fun, and we are both adventurous, which is 2 really important things about us.
Yeah, like I would say even in New York City, even though we both kind of grew up here, we'll still just be like wandering around, walking throughout places that we've been to before, places that we haven't seen before, and we just will, you know, get lost and always find something new to do.
The next one is that we both are 2 people that get really obsessed with things.
Definitely true. Like right now we're obsessed with this UK reality TV show called Love Island, and we literally like cannot wait for it to come on. We download it and we watch it like immediately.
Yeah, it's like the first thing we'll do when we come home is literally be like,
huh. And the last one I think is on my phone, which is that we have like a similar kind of style, like clothing wise, so that we're actually the same size and everything, like same size shirts, same size shoes, pants, pretty much everything we can share.
Like we're both like similar in the way we dress, as in we're both like not super feminine and not super masculine, like we're somewhere in the middle, depends on the day.
All right, so the 5 ways that we're different are...
One of us is a morning person, one of us is a night person.
I'm the morning person.
And I am definitely the night person. Shanna's up so early and I'm just like,
yeah, Gabby's a zombie in the morning, and at night I'm a grandma and I fall asleep at 10:30. Like for example, Gabby is a sweet tooth and I love all salty things, like popcorn and chips are my shiz.
Meanwhile, I love ice cream, all sweet, M&Ms, chocolate. I really want M&Ms.
I'm the organized one, like super organized, like everything is like has its place, and Gabby just like throws her stuff everywhere. Gabby is more of the kind of person that will like talk about her feelings and like is very open about expressing her feelings, and I like to joke around and say that I'm a robot. And that I have no feelings, which is not true, I'm just joking. But I'm more like logical and rational, and I see things from like that perspective, and Gabby sees things more from like a feelings, like emotional perspective, which is good because we like balance each other out.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into zodiac signs, I'm a Cancer and Shanna's a Taurus, so she keeps me grounded and I keep it fresh.
Exactly. And the last thing I think I remember from my phone is that we both had very different upbringings. Like, I grew up in the suburbs, going to Catholic school my whole life, like from elementary school all the way up through college. And Gabby grew up in Brooklyn, going through the public school system there.
And I also was raised Jewish, which is obviously very different. So
Yeah.
I think even though neither of us are religious now, it's just like we have very different backgrounds in terms of some of that stuff.
Yeah. Like, Gabby will tell me things that happened in her high school, and I'm like, I literally thought like that was like a plot in a movie. Like, I didn't think that happened in real life. So thank you guys so much for watching our video. Hopefully you liked learning a little bit more about us in our Q&A. Thank you so much for asking all the questions that you asked. If you have any more questions you want us to ask in like a future video, maybe like put them in the comments or something, and we'll try and answer them, because this was super fun.
Yeah, we love getting to talk a little bit more about who we are, because sometimes while we're traveling, we're more talking about like the destinations and what we experience versus like who we actually are as people.
Yeah, so it was a super fun video. So like I said, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.